Welcome back to another episode of Recapping The Single Life. We are on season 4, episode 6. Let's get right into it. So you know what that means. Sit down, buckle up, and let's go for a ride. Let's fly on over to the City of Angels to see what our Princess Natalie is up to now. Last episode, Natalie gave one of the worst interviews I've ever seen for Josh's cousin's chiropractic studio. And then in the evening, she went on to show off her acting chops to Josh's friend who is a producer, thus securing a future audition for her for a movie. Yay for nepotism. Present day, Natalie and her mom are getting some breakfast, and Natalie tells us that after the successful dinner party, she feels hella hopeful at her prospects of becoming a successful actress in LA. Josh is out of town again, but despite missing him, Natalie is a smitten kitten, saying that Josh getting her an apartment, getting her a job, getting her a car, all shows that he is opening up, and she can see him painting a picture of their future together. As they start to dig into their meal, the two of them talk about how wonderful Americans are and how much the US helped their country. Her mother brings up Michael yet again, and how he is such a nice guy and always treated her kindly and even referred to her endearingly as mommy.
My mom does brings Michael a lot. Michael is gonna be forever number one for mom.
Natalie is like, yeah, he was nice, but, after we stopped being together, I started being together with another person because, we stopped being together.
Да.
Я рада, я счастлива.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
Her mom says that she never thought about Josh poorly until the time he did not pick them up from the airport, and I am like, Mom, let it go. Are you kidding? Your daughter brought you to the US with nary a plan. And Josh secured housing, job interviews, a car, introduced her to people in the industry that she wants to break into. At this point, he has made up for not picking you up at the airport. Like, he's made up for it a lot. Mama Natalie, build a bridge, get over it. Natalie's mother urges her to maintain a friendship status with Michael and tells her to call him, which Natalie mulls it over for a few seconds and then obliges. Michael picks up and Natalie gives him to her mother, who is over the moon. She says hello and goes on and on about how she misses him so much and asks him to meet up for tea.
Пообедаем, кофе, чай. Ну, давайте встретимся.
Natalie tells us that things are super complicated because she's technically still married to Michael and her mother is super attached, and so it kind of makes it impossible for her mom to build any kind of a connection with Josh. I mean, the man got you a home, a car, possibly a job, and she still hates him. I'm pretty sure at this point, Michael could crap on your front porch every day and your mother would find it endearing. We flip the switch and start seeing things from Josh's end of the world. Josh tells us that him and Natalie have been spending more time with each other, and he is doing his best to keep his word with helping her settle in, and so far, he's pretty happy. He meets up with two of his colleagues and friends. Peyton is the COO of his company, and Ty is a director within his company. They talk shop about the business and some upcoming plans to travel, and Peyton brings up Josh's relationship with Natalie and asks him to clarify what the hell is going on between them because it's starting to affect their business negatively.
Your phone is going off 10 times because she needed you to find her a ride somewhere.
Right.
It's like, come on.
Damn, she's bothering him at work because she does not know how to call an Uber? No wonder she said Josh would call her needy. She needy as hell. Josh tells his friends he knows it's complicated, but he really cares for her and he just wants to help her achieve her goals. The two shoot it straight with him and tell him that things just are not adding up. The math ain't mathin'.
We all know that she wants to be in our industry.
I've started talks on a small project with David Walks.
For her?
They question her motives considering how much Josh has had to do for her, and Josh tells us that he really hopes Natalie is in it because of him and not just because of what he can offer. Ooh, honey. Moving on to Miss Debbie. Last episode, Debbie stocked up on condoms of all different flavors in order to prepare for her trip down to Miami to meet her new beau, Ruben the Cuban. Back to the here and now, Miss Debbie is packing up her things, including this insane purse that she has named Petey the Peacock.
Petey might be happier with a little more space to protect him.
She's super bummed that Julian is tagging along since it might hinder her from seeing Ruben's Petey the Peacock. They arrive in Miami and Miss Debbie starts to channel a little bit of her inner 50 Cent.
Ruben the Cuban, you've been my confusion, my tropical
Julian basically says, check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Oh man, you like chipping away at my confidence.
I'm telling you the truth.
Debbie was kind of right to be concerned about Julian being a wet blanket. They arrive to the hotel and Debbie tries her best to push down any anxiety she has about this possibly being Morocco Part 2. Debbie calls on Julian to ask him for some fashion advice, and she comes out as the physical manifestation of Petey the Peacock. This outfit is loud AF, and she's even wearing like a postcard-sized painting around her neck. Julian sends her off and tells her to text him every hour, and Debbie is like, LOL, no, thanks for the ride. Okay, thanks, bye. Debbie gets to Little Havana, and gosh, it really is like looking into a mirror with these two. Ruben is dressed just as loudly as she is. He's so sweet. He greets her with flowers, balloons, and even a little gift bag. He looks smitten as hell, but Debbie apparently got the ick. She says that she's used to conservative gentlemen. The woman who came to this date dressed like a literal peacock thinks this man is overkill. Pot, meet kettle. Debbie is still getting over her first impression of Ruben the Cuban.
And he's got this wild hat on and this wild shirt. I mean, Ruben made me look conservative.
Girl, he did not. Do not worry, Miss Peacock. You both are birds of the same rainbow feather. Ruben is so excited that Debbie matches his vibe, and he says that he's so attracted to her vibrancy and her color.
That's what I love about her. She's vibrant, alive, not boring.
The two head out to enjoy some dancing out in Little Havana, and they seem to be really enjoying themselves. They settle in for some drinks, and honestly, if Debbie is not actually feeling him, she's doing a damn good job at hiding it, because she seems to be having a blast.
Sugar cane.
That's sugar cane? Yeah. Oh, azúcar.
Azúcar, yeah.
Debbie confides in us that she has not been porked by a meat stick in 14 years, and that she turned Osama down multiple times back in Morocco.
I am so glad I didn't let Miss Debbie give up her virtue and honor to that young punk.
She is very nervous about the potential for some boom boom time because it has been so long that she has no idea what to even do. She says she wants to take things slow.
You know, we don't want Miss Debbie having a boom boom coronary.
And yeah, I don't blame her. I would not want to be literally porked to death. Debbie tells Ruben that she has had such a good time, but that she's really tired and she wants to head back to her hotel and meet up with him tomorrow. Debbie tells us that Ruben is pushing all the right buttons and she can definitely sense an attraction. The two share the cutest goodnight kiss and Debbie heads off with her head in the clouds. Moving on over to Texas to meet up with John. Last episode, John, with his undeodorized body and unbrushed teeth, took Meghan out to a dinner date. Meghan tells him that she doesn't really have a timeline, but she sees them living together within the next 6 months, which is not only a timeline, but an incredibly short one. It's the day after their date and John wakes up and finally he asks the front desk if they can spare him some deodorant. It's probably because he's sweating so damn much with the pressure Meghan put on him to move out to Texas ASA possible. While he waits for his little smell stick, he FaceTimes his brother Patrick.
Greetings.
Patrick asks him how things are going and if John is planning on meeting Meghan's daughter.
Well, I'm gonna have to meet the daughter, right? If we're gonna be together and make this work.
Patrick advises him not to meet the daughter because once he meets her, things get to a different level of real because now they'll have a relationship with each other and that makes things a lot more complicated considering John and Meghan might not actually work out. I do agree with Patrick on this. I really don't think you should be introducing your kids to a partner until you know that both parties are very serious. And I know Meghan is pretty serious because she told him she wants to be living together within the first year. However, John clearly does not feel that way. Despite Patrick's warning, John heads out to meet up with Meghan and her daughter River. Meghan lets us know that River is on the autism spectrum and that she's high functioning, but still nonverbal. John at least understands the magnitude of this meeting and that he basically is signing up to be River's stepfather should he continue to pursue this relationship with Meghan. In the evening, the pair head out on their final date before John heads back home, and John reflects on his time out here and says that he's definitely falling for Meghan, but he just doesn't know if he's ready to move out to Texas quite yet. John says that he would like Meghan to visit him in Las Vegas because he wants his family to meet her, and Meghan tells us that this made her so happy because she knows how important family is to John.
I want to see how he's living his life now and how significant of a change it's gonna be if he does move down here.
They smooch a whole bunch, they hug a whole bunch, and then they say their goodbyes. Let's head down to visit Veronica and Tim. Last episode, Jamal and Tim got a little bit closer to spitting in each other's faces as Tim got angry at Jamal for questioning his relationship with Chloe by calling him a bad dad. Fast forward to today, Veronica reflects on the fight that happened the night before, and she tells us that she cannot have the two leading men in her life butt heads every single time that they're in the same room together. So her and Jamal are headed on a double date with Tim and Louisa to play some pickleball.
How you feeling?
We're all right. Need to see how this is gonna be moving forward.
In a moment of some actual maturity, Jamal admits to us that he really should not have gotten into Tim's face the way he did, and that maturity flees as quickly as it came.
I also don't feel I was completely in the wrong last night.
I mean, you told the father of your girlfriend's daughter that he is a bad dad, and you said that basically unprovoked, so yeah, I mean, you can say it. We won't judge you. I mean, we will, but, you know, you were wrong. Veronica starts to warm up, I think. Anyway, thank God Tim and Louisa arrive before Veronica can hurt herself doing whatever that was. Before we continue, let me just take a beat to say Louisa is fine. She is scrum-diddly-umptious. Like, oh my God. Things start off super tense with Tim and Jamal.
I don't like to lose, just so you know.
Might not even break a sweat.
Damn it.
Tim takes a little spill as he loses the winning point, and egos may be bruised, but sweet little Louisa is just so happy to be along for the ride.
Yeah.
The ladies go to freshen up, and Jamal hangs back with Tim to try and talk about their blow up the night before.
Veronica would appreciate me talking to him. I will try.
Jamal starts off by actually apologizing for getting in Tim's face and that he should not have brought up Chloe. He tries to explain that he's been stressed, he's got a lot of high emotions, and he doesn't want to blame the alcohol, but the alcohol probably played a big part in how he acted. Tim accepts the apology, and he also says sorry for hurting Jamal's feelings. He goes on to explain that he definitely is overprotective of Veronica, but it's because he's the person that is always picking up the pieces of Veronica's broken heart. Tim goes on to tell Jamal that he has no business being in the middle of their relationship, but you know what? He's always here if Jamal ever wants to talk, which Jamal says he appreciates. This was a surprisingly mature conversation on both parties. Tim just could not seem to look at Jamal in the eyes for longer than 2 seconds. But you know what? Good job, boys. I know this was hard for the both of you, and I'm proud of them for not doubling down on being stupid. After working up an appetite, the group head out to dinner. Veronica asks the table if they know what they want, and Tim says that he wants a filet.
You know how I like my steak, Veronica. Which one is it? I can't ever remember.
Medium well.
Medium well, okay.
I'm so sorry, but I call bullshit. You are a grown-ass man, and you don't know how you like your steak cooked? Louisa and Jamal share this quick glance at each other, like, is this guy for real right now? I don't really know what Tim was trying to accomplish by saying this. Like, was he trying to get in Jamal's way by saying like, oh, Veronica knows my order because she's my mommy? Or if he wanted to tell Louisa that he's kind of stupid and should they continue dating, she's gonna have to be his mommy?
I'm not threatened by Tim in any way, shape, or form. It's just kind of a strange thing to do in front of a potential partner. As a grown man, you know how you like your steak cooked. It's weird to me.
Jamal asks how Tim and Louisa are doing relationship-wise and if they are exclusive.
We're like testing the waters and seeing how things are going.
So I guess that we are like friends.
And normally I would be like, Tim, why are you so evasive? But then again, this is him and Louisa's like second real date together. So of course they haven't had deep discussions about their future yet. Louisa, however, tells us that Tim definitely has his walls up and she has no idea why because she really likes him. I feel really bad for Louisa because I don't think her and Tim are going to be sexually compatible because Tim seems to want to take things very slow. Like he's very hesitant to even kiss Louisa and Louisa's over there like drooling and panting wanting to hump Tim's leg. This double date kind of slowly gets weirder and weirder. Veronica tries to tell Louisa, don't worry, Tim is not that bold when it comes to dating. Like when I dated him, I had to make the first move and our first kiss only happened because I initiated it. In confessional, Veronica tells Tim to stop being a germaphobe and just kiss Louisa, and he sticks to his guns saying that he will kiss her when the moment is right.
I know that all of this is super weird. Like, I get that.
It is weird.
She transitions into Spanish and tells Louisa that weird things aren't necessarily bad things, and Louisa thanks her for being very kind.
It's crazy how amazing it would be if we could all be in on this before we leave.
It's a girl-to-girl situation.
Jamal is a little butthurt because he cannot understand what's going on, and he tells Louisa bluntly, like, I know Veronica is telling you that things aren't weird, but it's weird. I do think that it's a little weird to speak a different language at a table with people who can't understand you. But on the other hand, I also understand that this is Luisa's first language, so getting the point across to her without the language barrier would probably be faster and have less potential for misunderstandings. I get why Jamal is annoyed, however, I do not think he should have jumped in and undermined Veronica because all she's trying to do is make everybody comfortable in a situation that is inevitably weird. And with that, my Panda Pals, we are at the end of this recap. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope to see you guys next time. As always, thanks for joining and not letting me ride this train wreck alone. Bye.